In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you back to school hacks for moms from a former teacher. If you're new here, make sure that subscribe button is clicked and give this video a thumbs up if you are excited for your kiddos to go back to school. Give it a thumbs down if you're not ready for summer to end. And in the comments as I go through my hacks, please leave any tips, hacks, advice you have for parents whose kiddos are going back to school. I love to learn from you as well. And I'm looking forward to reading your comments since my son Landon is starting preschool this fall. I'd also like to quickly thank HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. I'll tell you a little bit more about them later, but let's dive right into mom hack number 1, which is take the school calendar, the syllabus, and any important testing dates, put them all into your phone calendar, and set any coordinating reminders for those important dates. So for example, the week that your child is having standardized state testing, put that into your calendar, but the week before, ensure that your child is getting a good night's rest, talk about any last minute test prep that he or she may have to go over, and talk through any test taking strategies that you know of from when you were in school, or look them up on Google and just kind of go over with your child to calm and ease their nerves, and that way you can alleviate any sort of test anxiety that might occur. And for working moms, if you have little kids or even older kiddos with certain field trips you might be able to chaperone, be aware of the field trips or important parties that might be going on in your little one's classroom that you want to be there for, so that you can take off work on those days and be present for your kiddo. As a teacher, having parents who were in the know, aware of upcoming events so that we could be on the same team, always equaled more success for their students. Mom hack number 2 is make sure your child has healthy meals for school. And I truly believe you are what you eat. And for our students, especially as a teacher in a low-income school where I just saw such inadequate nutrition and how that played out in my classroom and my kids' ability to focus, and the types of foods that we're eating and how that sometimes would even upset their tummies so that they had to be leaving classroom to use the bathroom frequently. Having healthy meals for your kiddos is one of the best things you can do as a parent so that they can focus and perform well in school. And just with HelloFresh, there's always healthy meal options that just make it so much easier for you and your family to be having good, fresh, balanced meals. And you guys know, if you watch my former videos, I love HelloFresh. The directions are so easy to follow. I can cook a healthy meal in 30 minutes or less. I don't have to waste time at the grocery store because it's all delivered right to my house, to my door. I can pick any day of the week I want for delivery, and it just makes my life so much more simple. There's always leftovers that I can incorporate into lunches or meals for the next day. And I always pick the family plan. It's less than $10 a meal, but there's also a veggie meal plan and there's a classic meal plan. So for $30 off your first week of HelloFresh, visit HelloFresh.com and enter the code BriannaK30 when you check out. Mom hack number 3 is supporting your kiddo to be self-sufficient. And you can do this using the I do, we do, you do method, which a lot of teachers are trained to plan their lessons in this way. But that first week of school, or maybe even the week before school, practice the morning routine. Show them where are they picking up their backpack, what are the supplies that they need to check to make sure are in their backpack every day. Is there folder in there? Is there homework in there? Utensils, any other kind of art supplies that they need, any sort of hygiene products that they should be bringing with them every single day. Is their snack packed in there? Is their lunch packed in there? Any items that they might need. Teach them to go through that checklist themselves and see is what they need for the day in their backpack. And then similarly, that first week, you're walking through with them the homework routine. What's the routine when they come in the door? Where do they put their shoes? Where do they put their backpack? Where do they take their homework? Where are they sitting down in a quiet space? I'd recommend technology free unless some sort of technology is needed to assist them in doing their homework, if it's a computer-based project or something along those lines. But what is that routine going to look like for them after school so that they can come home and get right into that routine to focus on their homework and get ready for then the next school day ahead. And then this is where you get into the we do stages and then eventually the you do stages. Gradually release. So that second week of practicing the routine, you're still there with them, observing, watching, and just course correcting whenever they don't follow the routine you set up the way that it should go. And then you can back off let them do it on their own, and just come in and observe more infrequently. But again, course correct and then make any sort of modifications that you might need to the morning routine and the afternoon homework routine as the school year progresses, or if they have other after school activities. But whatever you do for your child, the best thing you can do is support them to be self-sufficient in these habits of, do I have what I need for myself? What is my routine for doing my homework? What's going to help me focus? Because as a teacher, the kids who were the most successful in my classroom had the parents who supported them to be self-sufficient. The parents who were the helicopter parents and who were doing projects for their kiddos and who always had a very heavy hand on what their child was doing, their kids oftentimes would be in a place of anxiety, confusion, because they didn't have somebody there to handhold them. So the best thing you can do is teach your child to be independent and self-sufficient through a gradual release process. Mom hack number 4, and this is one of my favorite parts of being a teacher, but connect with your students, teachers, coaches, other faculty members at the school that are going to be playing a role in your child's life and growth and development. I loved getting to know my students' families, whether it was their parents, their grandparents, their siblings that were in other grades. That was one of my favorite parts of my job as a teacher and as a coach. And on top of that, I think the best thing was when parents would say, please text me, I'm working, or I have this going on in our family right now, so I might not always be able to be physically present at the school, but you can text me anytime to let me know how my kiddo's doing, ways that I can support from home, and that always equaled the best relationship for me, the parent, and the student, so that we were truly a team to encourage that child's success and growth and development. And my final mom hack in this video, number 5, know your child's strengths and weaknesses and really focus and encourage their strengths. Now, of course, whatever their weaknesses might be, it still needs to be addressed. So if they're having a really difficult time in math class, that's where that communication piece is so important. Figure out with the math teacher, is there some sort of peer tutoring that they can have? Is there actual some one-on-one coaching time with the math teacher that they can be having? What can you at home perhaps be doing? Or are there other resources you can be using online for your child to address those weaknesses? But more than anything, you want school to feel positive and exciting for your child to show up to every day. And by focusing on their strengths and telling them, wow, you are so good in English class. The essay you got back that you got an A on, I know you worked really hard. It seems like you're really enjoying that book. Just continue pushing them where their strengths are, because that's going to make them feel good overall and give them that pride and that feeling of, wow, I can go to school and I know there are things that I'm good at here, instead of dwelling on the negatives and feeling like they have to be perfect in everything, because that way you're alleviating a lot of the pressure your child's going to feel and helping to bolster their overall mental health and their experience in school to be a very positive one. And I think this is where it's so important for parents and teachers to unite as a team and figure out the coping strategies that are going to work for every individual student in the classroom to feel smart, successful, and positive about school. So maybe for a child, it's how to remain calm and refocus when there's a lot of distractions in school. There might be side conversations going on that they get drawn into. So what are the strategies for that child to remain focused on the task at hand and complete their work on time? Maybe it's with you working with your kiddo around manners and how they can be polite and interact so that they're making friends and leaving a positive impression with their peers. It could also be working with your child to know when they need to ask the teacher for help. Sometimes, just because of superiority, it can be really hard for a child to say to their teacher that they need help, but encourage your child to have that dialogue, know when they are stuck and having a problem that they can go to that teacher for help, because as a teacher, all you want to do is help every kiddo to be successful. So talk with your kiddo and make sure that they feel encouraged to do that and that they don't have to be perfect all of the time. Because I think that's one of the things I hate seeing, is when students are going through so much anxiety and so much stress and so much pressure when they should be overall feeling really excited and positive and looking forward to school, and not overwhelmed with anxiety around testing or having to have the perfect grades and be perfect in everything or be as good as the rest of their peers. It should not be a competition. It should be focusing on their individual strengths, what makes them special, what they contribute to the overall school community. And that's where both parents and teachers as the adults in the relationship can really help foster a child's confidence and encourage their growth across the board, but then really allow them to focus in on what their natural strengths are so that they can feel really good about who they are as a person and their contributions in the classroom and school community. And the one other thing I would add here is that any kind of bullying should not be tolerated, and any kind of harm or threat to children's safety should never be tolerated. So please keep an open dialogue with the teachers, school faculty of anything that you hear from your child that's going on, so that the school faculty can address it appropriately, because oftentimes that's where I think the biggest miscommunication occurs, or lack of communication occurs, and that's where you have to share everything that you're hearing with the teacher or school faculty members so that it can be appropriately addressed within the school building. And in case you're curious, I did teach 7th grade, so middle schoolers who were going through quite a big transition in their growth and development. And just as a parent, whether you are having a 3-year-old going to preschool like I am, a middle schooler or a high schooler, all of my friends who were teachers in a variety of K through 12 grade levels, we always said the same thing. Anytime that a parent had a healthy dialogue with their child and were kept in the loop and informed, even if it's really hard in those middle school and high school years to get the info out of your kiddos, keep trying, don't lose your patience, and don't give up. Get to them to hear what's going on in their world, in their life, because from a teacher's perspective, when the parents knew more what was going on, we could collaborate together to figure out what was going to be best for the kids. So those are my 5 hacks for moms for back to school from a former teacher. If there's anything I missed, don't forget to leave them in the comments, and click the thumbs up if you're excited for back to school. Thumbs down if you want it to still be summer, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and definitely check out HelloFresh. Again, I'll have all of the information in the description box for you. If there's any other videos you would like for me to cover around back to school topics, let me know those requests in the comments too, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves.